And the EPS had improved itself. It came out with the ENSONIQ ASR-10.
ASR-10. That's my joint right there.
And once that got in my hand, it was a wrap.
What's up? You got your boy Dyreck, aka Native Shades, reminding you to like and subscribe. Cause today we're gonna be talking about the ASR-10. What had happened was the ASR-10. Now, what's going on with this machine? What is up with the ASR-10? This thing is a crazy machine. The ASR-10 literally is the machine for weirdos. Those are the strange guys. You know, like in school, you have the jocks, you know, the cool kids, the athletes. Then you got the nerds, the geeks, and everything like that. The ASR-10, they're the weird kids. They're the weirdos. You know, they're cordial with the jocks, and they'll talk to the nerds and everything now and then, but those are the kids at lunchtime that's liable to create a bomb and blow up the school. That's the people that use ASR-10s. I mean, you think about the producers. It's always the weird guys from the RZA. RZA said in 1992 when the ASR-10 dropped, that's when he became a master producer. And that's when he made the first 100 Wu-Tang songs was made on the ASR-10 after it dropped. Then you go from the RZA all the way to a completely different style, Timbaland. This dude that they was getting on Timbaland for making techno music. Remember, for making disco and techno music. He's on the ASR-10. Then from Timbaland, you go all the way to Pharrell. To a point, I remember Nori saying when Nas first met Pharrell, Nas told Nori, "Yo, Nori, why is your man's shirt so tight?" You know what I'm saying? These are the weirdos that use this machine. From Pharrell, we fly to our future president of the United States, Kanye West, and he's totally gone. What is it about this machine that attracts these folks, man? You only get 16 megabytes of RAM. There's no auto chop, no USB. You get only 2 audio tracks. You know, the sequencer lags, and the machine heats up. It heats up and turns off with a bunch of errors and everything like that. Why is this thing like such a staple in hip hop? I think it's because of the fact that it is different. The thing about the ASR-10 that I think makes it so special is that it challenges the producer in a way like probably no other machine. The producer, if you go in trying to do your own thing, you're going to be sadly mistaken. It actually humbles you and makes you realize that, no, you're going to have to work with the workflow within the machine. You know, like, let's keep it real. When this thing came out, people weren't doing granular synthesis with the ASR-10. No. You know what I'm saying? They were using it in the simplest form. This is 1992. This is when hip hop was still finding its way. You know what Cats was doing with the ASR-10? They would find a record and they'd find a snare because there was no sounds on board the machine unless you were using the disc, but the machine itself had no sounds. So every sound you had to sample it in there. So they would find a record, they'd find a snare that they liked, and they would sample that snare. Then they'd find another record, find a kick, they'd sample that kick. They'd find a hat, sample a hat. They'll find a vocal, sample a vocal, maybe a bass line. You got your sounds, you got 7 sounds or something like that. Okay, get busy. You know what I'm saying? Get busy and make a record out of it. You know what I'm saying? And the ASR-10, the workflow of it leads you from point A to point B. And it assists you in making a record out of those sounds. It had a feature, the poly keys on the ASR-10 where, you can press the keys and, it's cool. You're making a chord sound, and then when you press it a little bit harder, now all of a sudden you get this really dope resonance pad type sound that sounds incredible. You know what I mean? I remember RZA stating on the ASR-10 what he liked about it was that it forced him to work completely different. It wasn't like an MPC with pads. You were using keys, so he would actually sample notes and everything like that. And he said when he would sample a vocal, since when you sample a vocal and you put it on a key, it spreads it out across the keyboard. So he said he was able to play chords with the vocals. So that's how come in those early Wu-Tang songs you're hearing all that and all these cool chords, because he was playing chords with the sample. That machine forced these cats to work completely differently, man. And these cats became wizards on the machine. You ever see like Jake 1 on the ASR-10? This guy goes 100 miles per hour on the machine. He like You know, like those court stenographers, when they're doing a court case and the stenographers over there and they're typing up everything the court people are saying and they're going like super fast? That's Jake 1 on the ASR-10. It's like this machine forced you to be different, and whatever creativity that you wanted to bring to the table, whatever style you was trying to do, it helped you bring that style out. And not to mention the machine, the sound was radio ready. The sound was awesome. I mean, I remember Jake was saying that, you know, it's probably something with the circuitry, because since it overheats and everything like that, it makes the sound incredible. I swear there's a little madman in that machine that's like running around tweaking things and everything as you're playing your samples, and as you're, you know, sequencing, it's running around trying to do everything for you. You know what I'm saying? You might come up with a dope horn and stuff and you think it's good, and he's like, no, hey, come back here, superstar. Yeah, these horns aren't gonna work. Use these horns and then make it like this. Add some effects like this. And then your horns they'll really slap. You know? Another thing is the effects on the machine are incredible effects. There are some producers that don't use the machine for anything else but the effects. They just use it as an effects box. They say, you know, the reverb is incredible on the machine. The resonance is incredible. You know, the effects on the joint I hear are like some of the best effects that you can ever hear. And when you're doing drums on the machine, them drums bang. Timbaland was quoted of saying, you know, he was using the ASR-10 when he was working with Kanye West and doing all them songs like Stronger and everything like that. And to a point, he said that he's going to work on some new stuff and he's going to bring back the ASR-10 and use them on the new stuff. So this is a machine that just transcends eras. It was used all the way in 92 and then reinvented again in like 96. And then to the 2000s, then to the later 2000s, and now cats are still using the ASR-10 because of the magic in the machine. I'm telling you, it's like there's a wizard in that joint, man. You know, you might be working on a beat, you might have a hard day, and you just can't find the rhythm on that. You just can't find the it on the beat. It's just not working for you, and you had a tough day, and you decide to call it quits. You know what I mean? You put on your coat, you know, you turn off the machine, you close the lights in the studio, you're walking out the door, and then all of a sudden, the machine lights up magically. The machine lights up magically, and then it turns on, and then it plays your sequence that you was working with, but this time it got a little chance to cool off now. So now it's starting to hit a little bit different now. Now all of a sudden you got the head bob going. Now you come back, you take your jacket off, and now you start, you know what I mean? You start focusing now, and now you start putting other samples in together and you start cooking. That's what the ASR-10 does, man. The ASR-10 did have a SCSI, so you could hook it up to like a hard drive or your computer or something like that for more space and everything. So that was cool. And the ASR-10, you know, it only had 30-second sample time, I think, and that's not a lot. I mean, stuff like the SP-1200, I think only had 10 seconds. So 30 seconds was like a lifetime on that machine. Plus, that was around the time when cats started doing the whole speed the record up, sample it, and then, you know, bring it back to speed when it's in the machine so that you can get more sample time. That's when cats started using that trick. They use that trick till today, but they was really doing that thing when the ASR-10 came out. When the ASR-10 dropped, it was about $2,700-$2,800. It cost some money, but if you was a producer and you was trying to do something different, definitely that machine was for the different guy. It was for the weirdos. I always say, you know, like a lot of companies, they don't make keyboard samplers because they realize that not everybody plays the piano, and sometimes people could get scared when they see keys and they're like, I'm not gonna mess with that. But it takes a certain kind of person to say, nah, I will mess with that. You know what I mean? And those are the producers that was messing with the ASR, from RZA to Timbaland, Kanye, Pharrell. You got Alchemist is on the ASR. Large Professor started using the ASR. Large Professor was like, when he first was hearing RZA's beat, they sounded kind of choppy, and he was like, yo, and he was used to making everything clean and neat. But he said he got busy with the ASR and started getting it in. You got cats like the Grouch, Living Legends. He's on the ASR. You know what I'm saying? Jake One on the ASR. Just a lot of cats on the ASR-10, man. So yeah, that's the ASR-10. What had happened was, so this is your boy Dyreck, aka Native Shades, reminding you to go down in the description and get that how to make fire beats fast, where I'm showing you how to make fire beats fast on any piece of equipment. You know what I'm saying? I'm using the 500, but you can transfer it to whatever you're using. The concept still remains. So this is your boy Dyreck, aka Native Shades, reminding you to like and subscribe. And I'm signing off.